Welcome to the Parent to Parent project. This project aims to explain the Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities parent programme, which is run by REU. This is a result of partnership work between the statutory and voluntary sectors. It reveals outcomes of 4 parent programmes that were conducted in their own community language. This is the Somali, Latin American, the Arabic-speaking and French-speaking communities.
The Parent to Parent project is a partnership between Southwark Refugee project as a community organization and has Young Refugee project as an agency.
By being in this course, the most thing that I liked it was first of all for grouping of the parents coming together and expressing their thoughts together about the problems inside the community. By us, for example, we were taught in a small group. We've been a small group here. But when we go back to the community, usually we use it to give them what we have been taught. In fact, I was alone in this course, the only man in this course, which was awful. I would have liked it if there were a group of men with me in this course.
Could they have benefit this program for Somali community? Because the children, they catch up English culture, and Somali violent, they have already the culture. How to understand to children and parent each other to teach the good manners, to stop bad behavior.
To me, I think this program is going to be really a good bridge, for African culture to European culture.
I think mostly is to shine the idea to see the parents between children, because our culture, Latin American culture, is more is a macho society. All the time the parent decide what do you do or what do you think about anything. But now with this program, the parent program, is teaching us how to approach our children, to shape the way to order, or the way to commitment responsibility.
I learned being patient with my children more than I used to be, as there are different techniques, to use with children, such as time out, reward for good behaviors, and ignore, for example, the bad behaviors. And I am, noticing a lot of changes in my family, my children, and you learn as well how to integrate in the British society, as we are all from Arab countries, and everything is very hard, and to understand that we are all parents, and that we all have the same goal, is bring up children into a safe community, into a safe world, and that it gives them self-esteem as well, that they are not alone, because this course has brought many Arabic community from different backgrounds and different countries and cultures.
When they come first into this country, they always isolate themselves and shelter in their home, and then when they are going in these courses and meet other people, which is they speak the same language, they increase their confidence, and they look around them and they say, oh, I'm not alone. These things are happening not just for me and my children. They're all going through the same problem. And the most interesting thing is they are helping each other to solve their problems. To help our children to grow in this environment, we have to understand it first ourselves and not forget our culture and our history. No, we have to build on these things, and I think our children are more fortunate to have both cultures in one.
We have seen how parents benefited from the course and how they advise and support each other. All the courses went well. However, during the Somali one, we've noticed that the participation of Somali fathers was very minimal. In order to address all the problems related to intergeneration conflict, we need to know a lot more about the communities, and so the facilitators or the community leaders were asked to pinpoint these kind of problems.
Well, in the Latin American community, I came across I could say three kind of main problems. For example, children learn English quicker than parents, so they become the authority in the family. They know more, they have power, and in some extreme cases, we can say they abuse their parents. For example, when they threaten them to call the police when their parents try to discipline them. Another example, I think, is that parents lose control or authority over the children because they don't know how to guide them, how to tell them which is good or which is bad for them. They mention also about loss of identity, and I think the community is facing this new problem and trying to do something about that.
I think our traditional is a big challenge for all families, Arabic family or Muslims family in this country. So it's not too easy to naturalize with this new community when they come from Arabic countries or Muslim countries. It's not easy to talk about everything with the children. One example, the sex education. It's not allowed in our community to talk about it.
All refugee organizations under resources, especially Somalian. So that's our main obstacle. I started this project just a year and a half ago, and when I came, I made a survey around 250 refugees, and it's astonishing. I had a very shocking finding, which is saying that 75% never applied any jobs. So that shows that it's a huge barrier the refugee having in this UK. And is again, I had 35% they well qualified and had a degree in their country.
There is always problems between generations. You know, the youngest one will criticize the oldest for doing things in such one way, and the old one will criticize the youngest because they don't do things the way they like it. So there is always conflict between generations. But I think in this case, what is important is this conflict of culture, and because the generation of African parents, they all grew up in Africa, and their children, most of them are born in this country, and they're growing up in this country, and they have got the Western culture versus the African culture. And now the African parents try to bring up their children according to the model they had in Africa, the model with which they grew up. and the children trying to have their life according to the model they've got here.
My mom and my dad was born in Congo. Mine in London. I was born in England, and my sister, my baby, and my mama and dad was born in Jamaica. Jamaica! Oh, Jamaica! That means you should be the West Africa. Assemblée louée, Seigneur est vivant. Assemblée louée, Seigneur est vivant.
The community leaders have identified the issues refugee families face. Parents may find themselves in a reversed role in that they are more reliant upon their children. Refugees bring many skills and experiences to share with those in the UK. This includes good parenting skills. However, in their home countries, they would have had the extended family to help and support them. The Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities parent program enables a recreation of alternative support structures. Parent-to-parent support is created. We will now hear about the program and how the facilitators have found it and what they've learnt.
We're used to be the Race Equality Unit part of the National Institute for Social Work. But about 7 years ago we became an independent charity in our own right. And about 6 years ago we actually moved out of the Institute and started living on our own. We get a little bit of our money from government, such as the Department of Health and the Department for Education and Science. But we raise a lot of our money from other sources, such as the National Lottery, such as charitable trusts, such as the Joseph Rowntree Foundation. One of our real aims is to try and improve the quality of support that black and minority ethnic communities receive, and we're very keen to ensure that we promote race equality, and that's what we try and do by carrying out research, developing initiatives, and also disseminating them. In February 2000 we actually ran the first training for facilitators, and in March 2000 the first program started in a church in East London. We've gone from that point to March 2004, where there are something like 60 programs running in cities across Britain: Sheffield, Manchester, Birmingham, Leamington Spa, London, Bristol, and the number continues to grow.
Well, the Strengthening Multi-Ethnic Families and Communities program was originally developed with myself and 3 other colleagues. And when it came here to the United Kingdom, the name was changed to Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities. And our goal in developing this curriculum was to really meet the needs of some families from different cultural, ethnic backgrounds that maybe some other curriculums were not meeting. And so we wanted to develop a curriculum that was culturally sensitive, where each parent, no matter what their background, could bring into the process how they were raised, what their values are that were important to them. And we use a facilitative model which encourages parents to kind of process the information on different strategies, methods of working with their children, but in relationship to their value system and how they do things in their own families. And so we feel very positive about how the curriculum is, how people have responded to the curriculum. We've incorporated spirituality because many people, that's very important to them. We've incorporated the whole idea that values are important, culture is important, and that is going to give the child the foundation of knowing who they are and where they come from to go out and function effectively and successfully in the world. The curriculum consists of, it's very comprehensive. We not only introduce ideas about discipline to parents, but also communication strategies, anger management strategies, how to help your children develop social competency skills in a variety of areas. And then we also emphasize, in addition to the cultural and spiritual components, that it's important for parents to be involved in the community. It's not enough just to parent your children anymore in the 4 walls of your home, because as children they have to go out into the world And our communities are not safe, and the parents need to take some responsibility for that. I think the most controversial thing in the curriculum is that we have included smacking as one of the methods that's listed as part of a process of discipline. But the reasoning behind that was that many parents come into the program seeing smacking as an option. And we felt that it was important to discuss it as an option, since for all practical purposes it still is a legal option. And so, you know, parents need to see that in conjunction with all of the other methods. I do believe that all parents want the best for their children. And because of the world we're living in, parents will come to agree that children need to feel good about themselves. They need to have self-discipline when they're out there making choices in the world. And so we present to parents all of these different strategies. And I have to say that although it's been the most controversial part of the program, I think it's been also in some ways very effective in keeping parents in the class. They continue to hear the information. And our position is that if you give parents all the information, they will make good choices. Our goal was to raise level of consciousness and awareness about these issues. We want parents to go home each session kind of thinking about these issues. It's not so much that I have to change today, you know, change and do this or change and do that, but overall, what is my way of managing? How do I interact with my children? What we say and encourage parents to do is to develop a relationship.
The parents were recruited by the refugee community organisations, and the parent facilitators visited these organisations to recruit parents. They visited the parties, the social events, to enrol parents to come into the course.
To our background as an African, we've been differently educated, and we're now living in a different environment where we need to adapt ourselves. So the parent course double is going to implement and sustain the relationship between parent and children.
I am a parent, I am a father, and I've got 2 children. And I know how it is difficult. And sometimes I make mistakes in dealing with my children. And I think it is the same problem with a lot of parents. It is not only making mistakes, but there are issues of ignorance. There are things we don't know, we just don't know. And that's why we make mistakes. And parenting courses that give us the information we need and also help us to know how we can deal with our children. So knowledge is power.
I have learned that it's important to trust that all parents and all communities have their own resources to solve their own problems. They just need some intervention and support to get more information, skills and knowledge. I've also learned to be patient and to listen and to be accepting of differences.
I have learned a great deal of how to cope with difficult children, with difficult situations. I met with parents who presented problems within the adults in the family, like the father and the mother. Parents who presented difficulties with their teenage children, parents who presented difficulties with younger children. And we discussed all of these issues, and we supported each other, and we found solutions, our own solutions. So that, although I'm facilitating, I'm also learning every day that I come for a training.
I think it's very important for us because the people is, I think, very concentrating in other things like work, but not in the family. It's more important concentrate in the family.
The program facilitators were recruited from the refugee communities, and they were sent to the RU for a training course on parenting skills?
The training was very well presented. It was successful. I mean, the way that the Dr. Steele, the American lady, presented to us was very well, and interesting because they give us the chance to know more ourselves, and through ourselves we can know our family, our community.
I went from being a participant to a facilitator because I was so impressed by the program. I wanted to myself go on to learn how to take this program to various communities living in inner city environments. So I trained as a facilitator.
It's a good experience for me because when I was in the training, I was feeling very bad with the problems with my family, with my children. After the training, all things is different. It's changing my life and my family as well.
The parent manual is translated into different languages. The parent facilitators adapted and changed the course according to the needs of their own community. We asked them about these changes and also their feelings upon becoming a parent facilitator.
To be honest, I wasn't quite comfortable being a facilitator when I started to facilitate, for example, the first session. But reflecting on my own experience, because I have done adult education course, now I can see myself being very comfortable, and I find it really very useful. In this course, nothing is mentioned about Islam. Nothing is mentioned about mosques. In my translation, I have to add this word. Whenever there is something about religion, I have to add something about Islam. I have to add here and there something about mosque. These kind of things, I think it makes the parents more comfortable. This course is suiting them, it's coming from them, not imposing on them from outside.
Each community is different, and the French African community has its own issues, but also its own cultural background. And it was important for us to look at this aspect, to match the course with the reality of African life. And in this case, we had to run classes for a church, and we needed to take into account the spiritual and the religious aspect of that.
In this part, parents were asked about how they benefited from the course and what difference did it make in their real life.
Yes, a lot of it. I applied most of it, what I took from here, go back to the family and to the children, and then I applied, and then I saw benefits from it.
First thing is, already I understand my children, but the first when this course they start, I'm thinking about, I understand everything, how can I go this course? When I come this course, I have a lot of benefit here to pass it community and my children, and to teach my children good manners, to listen, to play each other. But I'm doing before, but I give more.
In my family, before the course was strictly way to order the children. Now it's more pleasant. And I remember one night my children said to their dad, Dad, give me a hug. And Juan Carlos said, no, good night, good night. Now the children say, Dad, good night, give me a hug, a kiss. And Juan Carlos say, okay. He's giving their kiss and hugs. Now it's best. It's the best way.
Yeah, I think that question and this example was actually was my son, and our culture between men is difficult to express your feelings, yeah. But now it's different. You know, this is your son. You are a man, but it doesn't matter. It's your family. Is your son. Just the treatment is at the same level, not the level of the parent to children. You know, no, you're a step up and your children is down. No, now it's different. This program, the parent program, is to teach that we are the same level. The children, the parents, and the children as well.
I have changed many things. I'm being very patient with the children. For example, I let them do the dishes last week. Usually I'm very impatient because I like to do it myself, and it takes me quicker. I'm quicker than the children and everything. So being patient is the most, I think, it solves all the problems. You get to listen to the children more, and you get to understand them more. So you used, like I already said, the techniques that we have learned from this program. The timeout technique is very, very important. Usually I do focus on every little mistake that my children do. Don't do this, don't do that. But I do get, I did learn from the program to ignore, the little things that, they're not such big issue.
The most things that happened to me first, I feel more confident, more understanding, not just getting all my decisions ready for the children. Oh, you must do this, you must do that. Now I'm talking to my children more, getting their views about any issue, if it was a small thing or a big thing. We have all to sit down and decide what to do about it.
Since I started these courses, I realized that there is something that I have to, to change in my point of view about my children, and these courses was really helpful for me. For example, these courses teach me how to speak to children with more loving. If I show the children that I love him, it understand better, what I want him to do, and to speak, in another way to him. So this courses was really good for me. In these courses, I noticed that there is lack of some Bible references, that can really help parents.
I would like this course to be would have been an opportunity for all the community, and I would like, if it is possible, the community, the parents of the community should attend a course like this. Every family or every individual every parent has to attend, because I think it is very benefitable for them and for the families and for the whole community. Because what I learned from here was very valuable. And before I begin this course, and at its end, when I came to its end, my mentality and the way of thinking within the family, everything changed. There's a gap, that has been filled by this course.
In total, 65 parents participated in the program. Out of this number, 12 participated in the mental health impact assessment, in which it was found this program greatly enhanced mental well-being. They spoke about how it reduced anxiety by improving their self-esteem and communication. It promoted social inclusion by them having a more valued role in their family, and they felt more valued in society.
The project ultimately aims to minimize and reduce intergenerational conflict in the refugee families, and it helps create a harmonious, integrated and stable families.
For more information on Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities parent program, please contact the REU.